Hello, everybody, and welcome to our special edition of My Way Conversations with Entrepreneurs Doing Business Outside the Box. It is not 5:05 on a Tuesday, it is 3 o'clock, 3:02 actually, right now on a Wednesday. But we're here for the fourth birthday of the Breakthrough Show Network today, and I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm tired, but I'm excited. It's been a long day. Whose idea was this? I know they're in the green room right now. And now we're all tired. But it's good. It's okay. It's all right. It's interesting because this was a brand new series that started this year, and it's been really a lot of fun. I made it in an effort to have more entrepreneurs on the show because we had a theme for the Breakthrough Show this year, and typically leading up to this year on the Breakthrough Show, we had a lot of people in the spiritual world, a lot of people that are healers and coaches and things like that. And I wanted to hear from lots of entrepreneurs, and this has been a great space to do that. And not just any entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs who have had that experience of people in their ears saying, you can't do that in your business. And they say, watch me and make it happen. So this has been a lot of fun talking to entrepreneurs. Every time we start the show, I hear Frank Sinatra in my head, and it's lovely and ridiculous at the both same time. So this has been a lot of fun. And I am being joined today by a couple of fabulous people who are also hosts on the Breakthrough Show Network. We are being joined by Shiraz from Rewriting Reality and Donnell and Angelique from Divine DNA. So let's welcome them to the show. Welcome to My Way. Well, welcome back, Shiraz, and welcome to Donnell and Angelique.
Hey.
Good to see you guys here today. Again, it's been so long since we...
it's been such a long time. We have to stop, keeping, ourselves away from each other for such a long period of time.
I know. We have to stop meeting like this. It's crazy. Crazy. So listen, when I say to you, do you do business your own way, whether it's doing your show, crafting things, making money in whatever way that you do you feel like that's something that has always come easy to you, allowing yourself to do things your way, or is it something you had to kind of work up to? We'll start with Shiraz, since I think I know what his answer is going to be, but we'll let him go first.
Oh yeah, business has always been easy. It's just been simple. It's no problem. Oh my God, no. Big learning experience.
Yeah.
But I brought my box to think outside of today.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing. Sir.
Yes.
Show and tell. Show and tell with Shiraz. What about you guys, Donnell? What about you?
We, there are times where we tried to start, little businesses. Like when we stayed in Jacksonville before, we sold food to people who just didn't feel like going out to get lunch. We did that. When we moved to Miami, the wife did her
cheesecake business.
Cheesecakes. And her being in real estate was also having her own business. And now, we are on TikTok quite a bit, and we try to promote other small businesses and things like that. So, it's not it's not like a business to where it is producing, a lot of income, but at the same time, it's helping other people. So it's like a support system for all of those who do have businesses, things like that,
And
networking.
We definitely did things by the book for many, many, many years. Of course, we fell for the work hard in corporate America, whatever job you have, and you grow, get rich, get promoted, whatever the case may be. And once we got our heads into the entrepreneurial space, we moved away from that. So yes, we have evolved from by the book to we're going to do it our way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, as far as the real estate's concerned, man, I wish you were. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Listen,
We don't
I
wanna
can't wait to hear that story.
I got stories for
Come out.
you. I mean, where do you think that, because obviously all of us here and all of us, I feel like on the Breakthrough Show Network are kind of entrepreneur minded. Even so many people that are in our audience are like that. And for me, I didn't really have growing up like an entrepreneur example. That wasn't like, my grandfather worked for the same company for 53 years. He did very well. He was happy in it. And I'm all for that. I don't necessarily think, which is another topic for another conversation, that entrepreneurs for everybody. I think, you know, some people are happy in what they're doing, and that's great. But I didn't have an example like that. Did you guys, did any of you have that entrepreneurial example, or where do you think that came from if you didn't?
Oh, for me, it was age 13. I got involved with junior achievement. I don't know if you have that in the States.
It sounds familiar. It's something like that. I would think we've had something like it. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of us over summer break, and we create, run, and then end our own company in like a 2-month period.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So we actually made by hand clocks for people to put up on their walls, wooden clocks, varnished them, put the components in, everything, and went door to door selling that for the summer, and made money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome. That gives you a little bit of a taste of entrepreneur world, and probably the realism of it as well, which is that, you know, things can be handed to you and things absolutely can be easy and we can be in flow, but we do have to do something. Like you can't just sit on the couch and go, I'm an entrepreneur now, and get a check in your mailbox.
Yes.
Waiting for my pay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. Let's manifest that right now. Let's just say
Yes.
Exactly right.
I love it. I love it. What about you guys, Donnell, Angelique? Did you have an example of entrepreneur life, or did you pick that up somewhere?
Well, my grandmother always had, from the time that I can remember, she started off in a salon, because she was a licensed hairdresser. So she started off in a salon with 2 other ladies. And then she went from being in a salon with 2 other ladies to having her husband convert her garage to her own salon. So as far as I've always known, she was an entrepreneur. So her journey gave me some ideas. Now, some of the things I saw, I was like, oh, hell no. That's too much.
Yeah.
But just seeing her doing her own thing and doing it her way, and being enterprising, because she did Avon at the same time. So she had her own salon. She did Avon. She was, multitasking.
Yeah.
And doing the multiple streams before that was a thing. Definitely gave me some idea of the drive.
Yeah.
And definitely inspired me.
That's awesome. What about you, Donnell?
For me, it was like it was a combination of my grandfather, my father, and my brother. My grandfather, he had, I think he had his own shop. He worked together with somebody at a shop, but I believe they were like partners in a auto mechanic shop. Either that or a body shop. I'm not really sure. And then I know my brother worked at a body shop where he learned how to paint. Well, I know he learned how to paint cars. So he still does that to this day. But there's a lot of things that he did throughout that time. There was a fair that came. There's a fair that came down to Miami. He tried to sell corn at that fair, things like that. So he always had a job something that he did outside of working for someone else. That he did. And I guess just the drive of having more than one job was always within myself. But because of how I saw them try to work at different jobs.
Right.
What did he sell at the fair?
Corn.
Oh, I heard something different.
I saw him. I was like, I knew he had something to say. Let me wait. Let me let him say what he has to say.
But do we really want to? Do we?
It was corn that he sold. He sold
Corn.
corn.
Got it. Okay.
That you, yes.
In case y'all
and,
were
you
not
know,
clear.
exactly. My dad tried to do different things, throughout that time, but I think just the mentality was always there embedded. So to try to do something on my own was always something, a drive for myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I was thinking, Angelique, as you were talking too, my grandmother was I guess she was an entrepreneur. She owned a beauty salon. But when it's interesting because she had sold it when I was so young that I didn't actually get to see her like in her element and doing running the business. By the time I remember anything, as much as I saw, she was just doing my grandpa's hair in the kitchen kind of thing. But I was not. I was really young when she sold it, so I don't have any memory of it at all. So maybe there's something energetically there for sure. But she was also an example for me, kind of, if anything else, about doing things her way, because she didn't even graduate high school and she had gone to get her beauty license and open a business and everything else. And so it was like kind of busting the myth that you have to have all of your ducks in a row and in order to be able to do well for yourself. Yes, that kind of a unicorn duck. Exactly. And Brittany said, go to the corner. Brittany said, I didn't have anyone either, but for me, it was simply because I wanted to do something I love and more for my kids. I just imagined this and it happening. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a lot of my drive to keep going, is wanting a freedom lifestyle, a lifestyle that I get to choose day in, day out. When you guys have been working for other people, now Donnell, you still have the pleasure of getting to human on a daily basis.
I do.
So I'm gonna be careful with my words here then. But have any of you ever had challenges when you were in workplace, or Donna, when you're at work, when you're working for somebody else? Like, do you ever see kind of that entrepreneur trying to come out? And an example of this I can give is when I was working at this little beach souvenir shop on A1A. It was I was working 2 jobs at the time when the babies were little, and I was working at the little beach shop, and I had something coming up, and the manager wasn't there, and so me and the other girl that was working, we just went ahead and changed we swapped our schedules. We just went ahead and changed it because we just thought, no big deal. The shifts are still being covered. Apparently that's not a thing you're supposed to do if you're not a manager. No. So yeah, that's an example for me of when I was in my entrepreneurial space already, but I wasn't there yet. Like, do you ever see that bit coming out in you where you're like, I'm in charge, or when you were working for other people?
I did. I do.
I want to answer first because I got to jump off in 5 minutes, and then you can
go for it.
So there was one company I was working at, and on Wednesdays we would do pizza day. And what used to happen was we would all go out to the local pizza place and order personal pizzas and bring them back and have them at the office, because it was just one of those takeout places. There wasn't a place to sit. And eventually I started volunteering to go get everyone's pizza. I would take the orders during the morning and then go out, get all the pizzas and bring them back at lunch, and everyone would just pay me. And people felt like there was no need for this, but people would feel a little bit guilty that I'm the one going and getting all the pizzas. So they would just round up on the money they gave me. And so this became a profitable experience while I'm working at a corporation. And then one of the other guys that worked there, he comes up to me one day and he goes, I just figured out what you're doing. And I'm like, what? And I thought he was thinking about how I'm making a little bit of money, but he said, what do you get that receipt every week for $200, even though you're spending $5 on a pizza, and you get to write that off as a tax expense. And I went, huh. No, but now I'm going to. And, and so I had this little pizza business going on within the company while I was there.
Probably not a good idea, but thanks for the idea though. That's a great idea. Now we're all, this is an educational show here, people. So that's awesome. I know you have to go, Shiraz. But listen, Shiraz has been a guest on My Way before, and I want to make sure you guys go visit him at energeticmagic.com and see everything that he has to offer there, and go back and watch his full episode of My Way as well. I appreciate you, Shiraz, and I will let you get to your.
Appreciate you too. I'm going to be back. It's a 15-minute interview. I'm going to jump right back.
Well, we may or not be here, sir. May or may not be here.
Yeah.
I have more entrepreneurial wisdom to drop, but okay.
We'll see. Okay. Thank you, Shiraz. Donnell and Angelique, what about you guys? Do you ever find that entrepreneurial part taking over a little bit at the office?
I got this. So, there are a lot of times where, there are times where if it's just certain situations, I may just like take the lead. If you have an irate customer, it's like, okay, you try to talk to the customer, then the security part of the work that I used to do comes out. And there are other times where you have a customer, you find opportunities when certain customers talk about certain things. And I'm gonna let you know, I'm always talking about the shows. I am always talking about them. And it's like, especially somebody say, my girlfriend this and my girlfriend that. And I'm like, really? You know what you should do? There's a show that comes on, they come on for such a time. You seem a little unhappy. Let's get some joy in your life. You have a relationship problem. There's some people who I know talk about relationships. It's like I'm always just taking and just Metro doesn't exist at that time when certain people start talking about certain things. I'm supposed to be selling you a phone. I'm telling you how to bring joy in your life and how to rewrite your reality. I'm talking about. I'm like, it's like it's out of existence when I'm at work sometimes. Yeah. And I'm talking about different things. And then when I see people come in, when I see people come in with the crazy nails, don't you know I know somebody you can get nails from that cost less than what you're going to the nail salon, blah, blah, blah. You have this shirt, doesn't look good. See, Queen, I'm not Metro by T-Mobile. I'm just somebody who's just like my own salesperson, for everybody. It's like I'm networking. I feel like I'm networking for everybody. So that's when I feel like it just takes a jump, where I'm just doing something my way.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point as well, where like, I feel like there's all these separate things that I do. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm an author, I'm an intuitive, I'm a Reiki master, I'm do the shows, Partridge in a Pear Tree, and it all eventually slides into one another. I've even heard my husband in there talking to people on the phone, customers and whatnot, and he'll mention that he'll come running in here asking me for a business card, and I'm like, sir, aren't you working right now? I am on the phone with the customer, and I need to know your website so I can get the whole thing. And so it all like flows into each other, I think, sometimes, for sure. And I knew from the moment that I started changing the schedule at work that I was not meant to be working for somebody else.
I know it's eventually going to happen for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's going to happen. It's just it could happen when the time is right. I think I'm just right now, because I'm networking, I'm setting the stage.
Yeah.
I'm setting the stage, and plus, people do ask. Like yesterday, they asked me one guy asked me the question. So, what's happening tomorrow? I said, oh man, tomorrow's going to be excellent. Having a birthday bash, and I'm going to be on camera all day tomorrow. He was like, all day? I said, yes, all day.
And now today we're going all day.
All day. But it was just, the thing is, even though being there felt good, talking about something outside of talking about phones felt really good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that.
I knew I wasn't built for traditional 9 to 5 corporate America life very early on, but I didn't always know a way out or a safe way out. And, family responsibility came first.
Yeah.
And, I kept it going until I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm in that space now, still navigating, still trying to climb the ladder, the entrepreneurial ladder to auto pay. All
Yes.
bills on auto pay.
Yeah. It's a great goal to have. And I can definitely resonate with, being a mom and how that plays into everything and your family responsibilities. When I when I was working that job on A1A, I was also working in a doctor's office, and the doctor's office would let me take Nina had just been born, and he let me bring her into the office. And let me tell you, trying to nurse a newborn baby and all of that and be an office manager was a nightmare. And then I was so worried about my kids. Like Clay was in school, but Sky, I put him in the little Montessori preschool right across the street because I just wanted to be close to him. I felt so torn between needing to make an income and not, and being there for my kids. And I just felt like I don't want to have to. I remember just feeling so distraught in the moment. Like, I don't want to have to choose between the two things. And I think that's something that, we haven't yet talked about that on My Way yet, but it's something that I think is really powerful for so many parents out there feeling that torn. And I know my husband's felt it as well, being in sales and working in Donnell, working so many hours and being taken away from your family. And that's why I think it's important for so many of us to tap into that, wanting to do things our way and being in the entrepreneur lifestyle so we can have it all. It's just, it can be a journey getting there, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Most
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Brittany said, I do what I want, when I want, how I want. And that's exactly what I do being an entrepreneur. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. And it goes back to so much of what we've talked about on the shows before, which is, as humans, we all want to be right. We all want to be right. We all want to have the things that we want. We all want to be happy. We all want to be loved. And when you're an entrepreneur, you have a little more control over those things than when you're under the thumb of somebody else. Grim is joining us. Hi, Grim. It's good to see you. Said I quit my day job for the kid too so long ago. Yeah. And so sometimes it's hard to make that decision, like which one do I want more? We shouldn't have to ask ourselves that question, right? Which one do we want more? We want money more, or we want our kids more? We want to be able to live more, or we want the kids more? Like, we shouldn't have to ask that. But here we are. Yes, like, happy birthday. Right.
gas or food? Gas or food?
Yeah. It's a real thing. So this show in particular, we talk about a lot of different things, that doing business your way. But I wanted to give you guys some encouragement here, because I have a gentleman that I met who I'm actually going to be, he lives in the town that I grew up in that I'm moving back to. His name's Michael Whitehouse, and he introduces people to people professionally. He's a professional networker. Like, that's what he does. He makes recommendations, he makes introductions. And so, he's told his story recently, where he was doing it for years, literally doing other jobs and doing this networking and introductions and whatnot for free, just doing like what you said you were doing, Donnell, networking, getting his feet wet and everything else. And now he's making damn good money, that's what he does. He introduces people. He leaned into his superpower, which was networking and making introductions, and he's doing it. now. Like and it's so what you're doing, what you guys have created, I've always been just blown away by your ability to network and bring people together on TikTok of all places, that I was like, I'm on here to embarrass my kids. I don't know what y'all are doing, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And now it's like, you guys are some of the people that help me to really see it as an opportunity to grow into other things. What has that experience been like for you? And are you able to, where you're at now, envision it being like the sole thing that you do, like networking and promoting and all of that?
Well, hubby, the king, he was the mastermind behind joining TikTok. I was reluctant. I was like, absolutely not. I don't want another app to deal with. But he joined TikTok. He dived right in and set the stage. So when he says he's my assistant with real estate, that's why I always say partner, because his mind is very managerial. And he's so organized. He has phenomenal ideas. So he jumped onto TikTok as my partner in real estate to help me network and, mingle.
Yeah.
And he dived in. He met a bunch of great people. He loves technology and videography. So that's how we ended up on the beach with him recording me.
Yeah.
And we met you.
Yeah.
And here we are. Not to mention all of the phenomenal people we have met. Queen D, Brittany, Tracy, our network of friends, Pam, Tanya, Kay Wild. So many great people.
Yeah.
We met a lot of people, and my sole purpose of getting on TikTok, like she said, was to to help her with real estate. To tell people now that she's in real estate so she can talk about it and things like that. But then it just grew.
It went beyond our expectations.
Right. It grew past that. We started talking to people and seeing everything, different things that people do. And we was like, well, that's something that we do, but just not on this level. So we just expanded it from, the real estate to playing music, sharing joy, by playing music, and then telling people to come in and talk about their business and things like that. So it just stretched and it just grew.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah. To do networking, the wife will tell you, me talking to people, I don't have a problem with.
He's never met a stranger.
Yeah. I don't have a problem. So I would assume that could I be doing that full time? Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. It's just, I already got my feet wet doing it. So
yeah.
I think I can see myself doing it.
That's awesome. Welcome back, Shiraz.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Been a long time. That joke's not going to get old today.
They couldn't get their network to work properly. They kept freezing up, so we just had to cancel.
Oh, well, see, what happened was
acting up for everyone.
Yes.
But what really happened here was Shiraz wanted to be on this show better, so he just manifested it. He fixed it real quick.
He probably went over and said, my internet's acting up, so I can't really do this interview, so I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
No, I made her internet act up, so it wasn't my fault. That's the way I do it. Right. Can't be my fault.
I love it. Well, yeah, I mean, like the TikTok stuff is awesome too. What's interesting is I see a lot of people, talking about in fact, a mutual friend of Grimm's and I is doing like a TikTok challenge right now, though, for the people that are like, I can't do TikTok kind of thing. But for me, where it really was when I started being able to do the live videos. I just enjoyed that. The community truly is unmatched anywhere else. And it's so many of those people, like you said, that we've met through the TikTok lives that have come on and supported us here and supported us on YouTube and everywhere else. And so think of so many people, Chris and Jason, and I can't even, I'm going to literally, my brain's going to freeze right now because there's just been so many people that have come over from TikTok, just sitting down and networking and having a conversation and doing similar to what we do here. but creating that space for people to be able to express and enjoy and share and all of that as well. Shiraz, when typically with this show, that we talk about the people who have the chatter going on and they're like, no, I'm going to do business my way kind of things. But I wanted to switch gears today as well and ask you guys, what is the best business advice or work ethic advice or anything like that you've ever received before?
Well, there's the basic ones like work smarter, not harder. But I think the big one is that you absolutely can get paid for what you love. And I wish I had learned that a long time ago, because things like I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I remember we would go on Saturdays, the geeks would get together, we play from noon to midnight. And I eventually, had to go on and go to university and carry on with my life. And D&D was just put on the back burner. And then I just found out a while ago that there are dungeon masters that do Dungeons and Dragons online. People subscribe to them. And they take a group of people through an adventure over a period of months. They meet at the same time each week for however many hours. But then they get more people doing the same adventure and more people doing the same adventure. They're all these separate groups going through, and they charge each one of these groups. And they make 6 figures plus sitting around playing D&D all day.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, I think many of us tell ourselves that. We tell ourselves, that we have to do a certain thing or a business has to look a certain way in order for it to be profitable. And so, I mean, we see stuff all the time, the most ridiculous thing. Think about the pet rock.
Yeah.
Like, you can go outside and get one. Like, do people just know? Yet it sells. And I'm not even going to mention some of the disgusting things that I've seen out there. And I'm like, people buy this stuff, and they do. And so I see stuff like that, and I'm like, really, what's your excuse then?
Yes.
You just got to tap into the right market, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Our son is into Dungeons and Dragons and does it twice a week. I don't know if he streams or if he monetizes yet, because he hasn't shared that. But we know that he has sessions with his community at least twice a week. And I'm with you. I see some of the things that people do to make money online. My daughter follows one of those narrators of the Roblox cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Afmal. She has like 40 million subscribers. She's a 48-year-old woman.
I think she knows. Look.
She does not have 40 million subscribers.
Okay,
now.
well, she has a lot of subscribers. She
has
and I know she's making it about 40 million. I don't know that. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I know she's making millions of dollars per year from her videos. She's a mom. She's a wife. She has merch. Man. And just making money, just playing Roblox or Minecraft or whatever she does.
She's playing Minecraft.
And I'm like, where's my game? I need to find a game. Can I get
Afmal is worth $47 million.
She's worth, I knew a 40 million was in there somewhere for something. Okay.
Wow.
And I've been telling my kids, are you watching her again? What?
That's a whole nother show.
That's our daughter.
That's a whole nother show.
What's interesting is I'm seeing, that talking about being parents for a minute, I'm seeing the mindset shift a little bit with parents of where, when we were little, it was like, doctor, lawyer, what you better pick one. Pick one of these and go do it. Where now it's like, even with my kids, I'm like, you want to be a YouTuber, fine, but you better figure out the business business sense of how you're going to monetize it and everything else. But I still have some friends in my circle who are like, oh, my kids are not allowed to be a YouTuber. I'm like, honey, if they can make enough to buy them and you a house, what are you upset about right now?
Yes. Our youngest would love to be a YouTuber. She would love to do what Afmal does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not against it either. I want her to live her best life. I want her to be free. I want her to do what she loves, and I want her to get paid well for it. But I mainly want her to be free to choose, free to move, and financially free.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want all of them. Really.
Yeah. So we got a little squirreled for a minute there, but Donnell, Angelique, any best business advice you guys have ever received, or work ethic advice, or anything like that?
What we've heard, or what we've been told, is don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You know, don't be afraid to do it. Put yourself out there, and do what you do. You know, just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
For me, it's been remain consistent.
Yeah.
Remain consistent. Continue to put out your content. Continue to put yourself out there. And if you consistently do that over time, your payoff will come.
Yeah.
Consistency is it.
I love it. Graham said, if you can make a living and love what you do, you are winning at life. Exactly.
Please believe it.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree too. And being able to have the things that you want, you know, we talked about that earlier, being able to not have to choose between, am I going to get to see my kids, or do I have to put food on the table? Which one? Being able to not have to choose that, to choose what you want, which a lot of times is to have it all. We are, I think, wired that way. We want all of the things, happiness, the money, and family, and all of that good stuff. So I want to talk about, we were talking a little bit about networking before, Shiraz. How important has networking been in your business?
Oh, I wouldn't have a business with it.
Yeah.
So it just, and what's amusing is my business took off because I learned how to do networking right. And I didn't even realize there was a right way to do networking and a wrong way to do networking. Because I was going out and doing what I saw everyone else doing at networking. It's like, hi, I'm Shiraz. This is my business. Would you like to work with me? Which is the wrong way, because you're just selling, and everyone. And I was attending probably about 8 to 10 networking events a week. But then there was one event that someone else was running, which was just every other week we'd meet at a coffee shop, and there'd be anywhere from 10 to 40 of us on each session, depending on how people could make it out there. And we just take over this coffee shop and sit and hang out. And one week, the girl that organized it, she came in and she was really upset about something, and she was trying to hide it, but I could tell she was upset. So I pulled her aside and I said, can I just help you out for a sec? And she's like, what? And I'm like, well, I do this thing. And I'd just like to do this thing with you for a little while, help you out, see how that goes. And so I did some energetic magic on her. And then she went off. 2 weeks later, we get back together for the next coffee shop. She grabs me and she goes, what the hell did you do to me? Right? And I'm like, what? And she goes, I've been trying to get through my divorce and finalize it for 2 years. The morning after you did whatever the hell it was you did to me, I had clarity and I got it all resolved in 2 days. And she said, people need to know what you do. And I said, I've been trying to get people to know what I do. I've been going to networking events. I've been doing little events, and I get like 4 people out to my event. And that's the most I've ever gotten. And she goes, how much do you charge for events? I'm like, well, they're just small informational things, like $10 just to get people. And she goes, no. We're going to do an event for you. It's going to be $40. And I'm like, $40? I'm just starting out now. I'm freaking out. Wait, you just quadrupled my price. And then she goes, and I'm going to take half. And then I went the other way. It's like, wait, you're taking half my money away? And we just quadrupled the price. But she says, I want people to know about you. So she organized the event. And instead of 4 people coming out, 40 people showed up at $40 a piece. So, and I got half. So instead of making $40, I made $800 for the same amount of work, because instead of trying to sell her on who I am and what I was doing, I helped her. Right. And so going into networking events after that, especially with the organizers, you look for the organizers, you look for the connectors, and you see what you can do for them. They start to remember you, they start to acknowledge you, they even talk about you, and you don't even have to do what you do. You just help them. And now you're on their minds. And then you start getting recommended for things. I got recommended by the CEO of a business to write the writing component of a video game, just because we would hang out all the time. And he knew who I was and what I did, even though he'd never seen my resume, he'd never seen me work. He's like, "Oh, Shiraz is the perfect guy for that." Right. And that was it. Like, when you're focused on the give in networking, on the help, on the support, it all starts to come back to you. But 90% of people networking are, here's my business, please work with me.
Right. Well, and I think I love what you're sharing about giving and serving, and obviously you don't want to just do that and then be like, no, I won't charge anything ever, and because then you're not making a profit in your business. But here's the thing, like, I see, I'm not even going to name drop today. What I'm going to say is this. There's somebody in the coaching space who is very well known and constantly making posts about, don't do free calls, don't get on the phone with anybody, don't do a pre-interview, don't do a form, don't do a laundry list goes on, all of these different things. And it worries me a little bit, because I sort of think like you, whereas, sometimes people need to see like an example of what we do. They need to experience us, even if, like you said, they're not necessarily buying, you're not doing your work on them as you would a client, but they need to experience us. They need to know who we are and get to know us a little bit. And I think when we take all of the opportunities off the table for them to get to know us, how are they going to get to know us?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Wow. Some people need a TikTok, Donnell.
They do.
Yes, indeed.
That's it. I think my best business advice I was ever given was actually from my grandfather. And this is part of the book that I'm writing. In one example, he always said, dress for the job that you want. And how I took that to mean is show up how you want to be seen. Show up how you want to be respected. Show up how you want people to treat you. And this all came from, he had a closet full of ties that he had collected over his 53 years working for General Dynamics, and wore a tie every day. He started out as just a high school graduate and as an apprentice, and he started wearing a tie then. And he still kept all these ties over the years, from all the way up until he retired. He designed the Seawolf class of submarines right before he retired. And he always just said that. He went out the day that I came to him complaining about that god awful wool skirt I had to wear to Catholic school. He was like, Jessica, sometimes you got to show up for the job, dress for the job that you want. If you want people to respect you, you need to look nice, act the part, even if you're not there yet, even if you're not in that space yet. And so that's something that has stuck out to me over the years, especially in times when I feel like, who am I to do this work that I'm doing? I remember to dress for the part that I want, to show up and fulfill that role, even if I've got people over here going, well, you're not doing XYZ yet, and you're not there yet, and you're not whatever. to me, I'm going to show up for that job that I want every day. I'm going to show up to do the work that I want to do every day. So that's been that thing that has stuck with me throughout all of these years. So we always end the show with, if people feel like they can't do things their way, they can't be themselves, they can't put themselves out there, what would be a piece of advice that you would give them? I will start with the Queen, Angelique.
Take a chance on yourself. You're way more interesting than you might think. You have more to offer than you think. We all matter.
Yeah, I love that. Donnell?
Just reiterating what I said before, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid of, you may have a passion to cook, or you may have a passion to clean. Just do it. Just whatever you have that passion for, whatever that drive that makes you happy, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and go and do it. If that's what you want to do, go do it.
Just do it. Like Nike. Go ahead, Shiraz.
You're weird. and there's going to be a bunch of people that think you're weird and don't like you, but if 0.0001% of the population of the planet aligns with who you are, you have 80,000 fans. Okay, so embrace the weirdness, because there's a lot of people on this planet. There's a lot of people that are looking specifically for you, and hiding you means they get denied everything that they're looking for from you.
So good. So good. And now the end is near. So I think it's the end of the show, people. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say to you. Coming up here in about 40-ish minutes or so, I don't know who this is, but he's gonna come on and he's gonna shift the reality. And
who's that handsome dude?
I don't know. Who is that? Coming up 4:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, we continue our Breakthrough Birthday series today and with Shiraz. And he is going to be shifting the reality and I'm going to sit back and watch.
I'm going to sit back and watch.
Sure am. Going to get them tissues out, ready to go. It's going to be good. Thank you guys for joining me for this episode of My Way. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate Jackson's jumping in last minute with me here as well. Yes. I love you guys so much. And until when we're back, next week, next Tuesday on My Way. So this is going to be interesting, you guys. I'm going to need some thoughts, prayers, love, light, unicorns, Care Bear stare, whatever you got. Okay.
Yes.
The unicorn ducks.
Yes, the Care Bear stare. I love it.
This is what I need to happen. Okay, so the 12th was supposed to be my final episode of my final recording ever in this house, because we're getting on the road. We were supposed to be getting on the road the 13th, but see, now we're getting on the road the 12th. And so I'm going to be doing My Way from the road somewhere. I don't know where, but just letting you know that that's what's happening. But I couldn't cancel it. I couldn't. Yes, My Way on the highway. That's exactly what it is. I may be singing some ACD with DC or something, Highway to Hell, on the road. But I couldn't cancel this episode because of the synchronicity of it. I booked this months ago, and before we ever knew that we were selling and moving and all of that. And my guest for My Way is Tish Robbie, who is a children's book author who lives in the town I'm moving back to.
Oh, wow.
So the synchronicity of this is wild. And I was like, cannot cancel it. So I don't know where I know Tish is going to be tuning in from Mystic, Connecticut. Where I'm tuning in from, no idea. So I just need y'all to send the internet vibes that wherever I am in the hills of Tennessee, that I've got internet that day. Okay. Yes. I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. But I need you to send Care Bear stare.
Sending you internet vibes.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank all of you for watching. Grim, Brittany, thank you so much for commenting. I appreciate you. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to do things your way, my way, and your way. And we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.